resiliency tonight really stood out to me, just in terms of, we got so many threes up, 37. I think we only made 10 of them. But we kind of really didn't let that dictate the defensive effort, and that was just evident in terms of how we stepped up the shows. We really stopped them kind of driving around the show and getting in the paint. So that effort in the fourth, was, especially defensively, was really what won us the game. So yeah, I think it's not really an individual performance tonight. This was a really good collective Portland Fire performance. So good turnaround in the second half. Pleased to leave this road trip with 2 wins.
Nick, Sophie, questions?
Yeah, thanks, guys. Great win, Alex. I guess one of the big things that really stood out was Emily started the fourth quarter with 5 fouls, I think, and she was in foul trouble pretty much the whole game. But how big for you guys was it for her to, obviously she had to adjust her D a little bit, but to stay in the game?
Yeah, absolutely. I thought she did a great job just being ready, and then some really big possessions from her there in the clutch. So I think also just on that note, Nick, I thought Frida did a really good job just playing a little bit more minutes. Her shooting really helped us tonight. So yeah, I think really happy with both of their performances.
Sophie?
Hi, Coach. Sophie Dumont with the Ballers Magazine. Congrats on the win. 2 questions for you. First, you mentioned that you really like the defense. Could you just walk me through some of the positives that you saw in the last few possessions, after the AT three-pointer, just the way that you guys got back on defense after Bridget missed that, layup?
Yeah.
What do you like about, those defensive presence there?
Yeah, great question, Sophie. I think BC more than made up for it with the game-winning play, which was that block. And I think it was that stretch in the third where we weren't doing a good job protecting the paint, where it was kind of drives around our shows, rejects, and then really just one-on-one blow-bys without having our gaps as pronounced as they needed to be. And then I felt like we really turned it up in the last kind of 7 minutes of that fourth. Our pick-and-roll covers were executed much better. Our gap support was much better. Transition loads looked really good. And that was what, on a poor shooting night, that's kind of what you need. You need to lean in on the defensive basics to have kind of any chance of winning.
And then in the broadcast, they also highlighted, 4 of your last 6 wins have been, won in the last 10 seconds of the matchup. Just could you speak to your team's ability to stay focused, poised, and what you've seen in terms of growth over these past few games in that aspect?
Yeah, I think, again, so many late game situations, and there's nothing like the real thing. You can simulate all you want in practice, but it gets nothing close to this. And, we weren't perfect, even just the, end of game when we had that side out, and, we had the turnover on that one. And, it wasn't even a poor decision from them. I think I'll take the blame on that one. Just we weren't organized enough to get open, hold, and get it over the half. So I think that's definitely something we'll watch at. We'll take a look for. Really interesting scenario kind of unfolded at the end with a possible foul up 3. It would have had to have been right away. So I think the time passed to do it, and then they obviously missed that last shot.